There we go. Perfect. Now it's working. Pretty good. Yeah. Oh, found it. I think it's working now. We got two viewers. Nice. Three. Hello. It's great that we have four viewers. This is great. Let me turn down the volume on this. So, um, what I'm doing today is I'm actually working on a draw this in your style that one of my artist friends did. I don't remember where it went. There it is. I made a sketch page with it on it. It'll load. Yeah, I imported it too many times. So now I will be deconstructing the sketch I had. Um, and working on a better version. And we need to also pull up the original while we're at it. But if I wanted to go with the same sort of style, I would need to work on a couple of things. First thing would be placement of the character. And now take this, we make an edit of it. Just have clowns. That's great. I love clowns. We actually work on positioning the character a little bit more in a sort of dynamic area, kind of like this. And if we position our character dynamically like this, it allows us to work on developing new things within the drawing. So instead of doing it that lifting up kind of motion in order to free up the hands, make it more dynamic, I'm going to be taking it and taking some creative liberties by making a crop top, which exist. I think sweater crop top exist. I'd wear them. I mean, they sound really good, comfy. Um, Only on like half your torso though, which would stink. Um, Now we edit it just a little to account for shape of shoulders, everything. Now we work with our lines we have, how all of this would work out. And really, this is just how you do something general as this with art, is you just tweak it until it looks right to you. We could actually have her in like a pose, which is kind of like this. So that would be taking away from the bigness of the sweater, which is something I really wanted to illustrate. So instead of that, we will do a little bit right here, a little right there, making this overlap kind of. Um, Next, work on body shape. And I'm actually thinking we tweak this, make this a little bit more like that, in that direction to make more of a curve. If that makes sense. And if we drew a line all the way down, it would be like this, hopefully. That's how I want it to look. It's kind of like that. Um, and our line of action would look like that at least. Now we can get rid of the line and instead work out how everything else would look in the drawing. Maybe even move the leg out a little bit, create somewhat of a dip right there. Illustrate dip right here, kind of like that. It's either that or we could do how the drawing is kind of formed, do a different thing entirely. But thinking something like that would look good. Maybe even move this up a little bit, make it more dynamic towards this direction. That's just my thoughts about it. Something like that. Um, but this is all a sketch, so it's all very, very new. We're still figuring it out. Although, Harley thinks we could do something different with the hands. We'll make kind of like a little bit of a fleshy bit right there, pretend like that's like her severed arm or something, though. I don't know. Um, and we'll use a different color and experiment with. And of course, we're going to drop all this down, the head and everything. So we can actually make a duplicate of this and take out this if we wanted to make it almost verbatim to how it's going to look. We can take this part out. No, wait, took that part out. Whoops, didn't mean to. Take that out. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so what we do is that we would take this and kind of resize it and move it around. Um, that, and that works because of how the neck is shaped and everything. It works really well. So now we can actually use this to minimize the rest, keep it very small, very, very small. Um, just as a little bit of inspiration if we want. What I was thinking is something a little bit different than this. Maybe I don't want to go with the hands movement I had before because it looks a little less dynamic if we do that. Yeah, I think it looked alright, but then we would have to figure out a way to make it look better, you know, instead of it being kind of just like this. What I was thinking is something different entirely, where maybe even go in, and we can save this base that we have right here. Save that for later. I'm a person who likes to save all their bits that they work on, just in case an experiment doesn't go right when you're working on different things. So we'll use that same blue, and we can actually use this as a moment to figure out new things with positioning for the original sketch we made. Um, just add kind of like these shoulder bits and shoulder blades, kind of, because your shoulder fits in sort of a socket. That's why you pop it out of the socket. It's very bad. That's why they dislocate your shoulder and stuff. And so you draw that bit out a little bit because it's a separate bone entirely. It's not part of these back muscles. It kind of works with it. That makes sense to create the socket. So if you drew it all out, you would actually be able to see it all in this area. But that's beyond the point. The point is that in a relaxed state, it's sort of like this. And that's kind of how it points out. It's not that jagged, but that's how your shoulder blades are kind of formed. Um, we could do something different entirely with this if we wanted to. Um, hold on. We could do something different with this entirely and actually make it more dynamic towards what the drawing looks like if we did something like this where we more resembled it. That makes sense. Um, I wanted to make it more full, kind of, less like this. Um, but this will work too. We can actually do our push, actually work on distorting this in such a way to where it'll look a lot like the original drawing. And we could still include some of the things that I like in it if we wanted to. And with our little distort tool, we can actually use it to help us make a more dynamic scene with how everything is shaped. So we'll go on to this layer where we've had the whites, not white, the blue. Go to the blue layer, and we can actually draw out separate arms if we wanted to, different bones and muscles. So for this, we're just going to do, for posing kind of, we're just going to do an oval. And we can actually use this as an arm if we want to pretend. And figure out another way that we could do this entirely. And I forgot to add that. Add the little socket on the end. For that one, joint, more like. And then basically add this shape. We can then use this shape as well in conjunction with this one in order to build bones. And this is more of a technical thing than it is anything, but if you're somebody like me who wants to come up with original things without referencing, it's very, very useful because it's a way that you can actually work with kind of a puppet, and work with all that. But a great thing to do is work with perspective things as well. Um, like look at reference images that have a different perspective. It helps you learn how to do that. Me, I just kind of work my way through it and just try to figure it out as best as I can. Um, and the original sketch we had for this looked pretty good, but it was very stiff, very straight. And actually, I want to do this. We'll do something different entirely from what we were doing before. We can take this picture and maybe keep one of these. Take this one and actually move our picture around on this with the distort tool. Work on developing different poses, even though that doesn't work too well. Develop a different pose using Liquify. Maybe even work on the original pose with our Liquify tool, with our duplicate. And bam, we got something more dynamic already. And the arm, even though the arm's the same way, it looks really good. But now we actually have a sketch that looks very, in comparison to the first, this is the one that we have now. This was the first. The first looked very stiff, straight, but through using a liquefied tool or building a mesh, we were able to make it look super duper more dynamic. Um, but anyways, since we have this more dynamic pose, it looks very stretched around these parts, but it gives us an idea of the line that we're looking for, the line of action. So now that we actually have our line of action that we want, which I shouldn't have not drawn right on top of it. Now that we have the line of action we want, we can draw that out. Use our sketch we had before, maybe, if we want to, which I want to. I don't want to have to draw something twice. Use our sketch from before, do a liquefy, maybe work towards getting shoulders on that end, and then figuring out a way to move that whole part of the body like that, which really I've kind of screwed myself over by drawing this. So we'll do it a different way, and we'll delete that entirely. Uh, if we do it like this, hello Dreamland, thank you for joining. If we do it like this, where we don't change anything, we just kind of make a little reversion or rehash of the sketch, then we can actually look and see how this all works a little bit better. And especially for this part, we can actually alter that a little and work on this bit. Hello! I'm working on Draw This in My Style for Phil Tomato. He's one of my favorite artists in the Instagrams. He makes really good art, and he drew this, Draw This in Your Style. So I'm trying to draw it in my style, which changes a lot, but I'm trying to work on it at like one specific rate. Um, I hope that you guys enjoy sitting here and just vibing with me. We got some good music playing a little bit. It's kind of low, but I can turn it up if that's too low. Um, Thing is, this drawing style kills me because of how it's not inaccurate. It's more of it's killing me because there's no bones. Like this part's not even existent. We don't have a boing to the ribs. Ribs don't have a little boing to them. Everybody has boing to their ribs. Everybody's got ribs. But it's okay because it's a draw this in our style. So we can stylize it however we want to look that way. So I fixed it, just made a little bit of a bump to make it look good. But now we also have a another thing that we can do. We'll make this more towards what it looks like in the drawing that Phil Tomato did. Make it more of kind of a like that. Or actually, that's not proper. We'll do a different way to do this. Let me pull up the live stream. That's good. I'm glad that you're drawing too. We're all, well, we're not all drawing, but we're vibing and having a good time doing this. That's great. But with this Velma drawing, what we can actually do is work on that. This sort of like side thing right there. And this, if we wanted to go specific with anatomy and all that, we could actually shade right there as well. But because this is like a simple drawing, something that we can, it's very stylized, and I want to make it look stylized. So a way that we can prevent it from getting bogged down by details is by keeping it as simple as possible when it comes to how many extra lines we add. We can add little bags and stuff or little, curvatures, but detail lines, things like that will make it just a mess. So let's not do that. Now we just draw the legs. And for this one, I'm actually just going to do the legs like this. Kind of like how the drawing is. Except in the drawing, it's more of that. If that makes sense. The legs are more pushed downwards with the bones of the hips. It has a very, very long, in this drawing, if you tore it apart, it looks like this, kind of, where the hips are very, very low, shoulders are very high, and there's a very wide middle. But in our drawing, we can actually try to do a little bit of that if we wanted to. But I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just working on it. And so we'll try it out, see what works, see what we can stylize in the way that we like. And I kind of like this. This might be how we do it. It looks very, very nice. Um, Now is the hard part, actually drawing this little tiny triangle. And I don't want to draw it as a tiny triangle because that seems very, very, I don't know. Just to show off the other tattoos, maybe that'll work. It won't give people the wrong impression of Velma, beloved, beloved Scooby Doo character. That's as close as I'm getting to it. So, good. We can actually draw the little lines on here if we want to as well, just to kind of illustrate those. Um, and I think this looks pretty good. The belly button, maybe move it up a little bit just to look a little bit more similar to this style. And I think she actually is like a piercing or something, but look close enough. Looks like it. So maybe add one right there. Um, Although the major feat in this is going to be making our own design to put on this, including classic Cartoon Network characters, which is going to be very tough. But I believe that we can do it. We are going to have to just overlay some things and do some, what are they called? Clipping masks on the layers, which is going to be good. Draw the hand later, just because hands are crap. I hate hands. Erase this bit, and we will, since we're kind of working on our own with this, we'll just kind of figure out our own way to do it. Which to me seems to be like this. This seems to be the best bet that we have for our drawing. It's something like this. Maybe get rid of some of these extra lines right there that are tangent as well. Maybe move them upwards a little to keep it all kind of clean looking. Now maybe we can use our drawing from earlier, the head, and we can actually use this head that we drew earlier and make it a little smaller and fit it closer to what we need, which is very good. We need that. Something specific, especially for this character. You think it is? Thank you. I'm glad you think it is. With this, let's actually drop her, maybe drop her kind of like a bowl cut. It's not really a bowl cut though, is it? It's more of like a bangs. Drop her bangs down. That's the proper word for them. It's only a bowl cut when it's on a guy, I think. And when it's all the way around the same way. But with Velma, we don't have to worry about that. Because her hair is longer in the back, I think. Um, and we can actually work on maybe put like a tuft around here, kind of just to, yeah, that'll work. Boom, we got it. Tuft of hair right there. This will mean we have to reposition some things and do a little bit of work, but I like it a little bit more. It makes me enjoy this drawing a little bit more. To have it kind of shorter, make it look more like the real original content that was made. Makes it look good. Makes me think of it better. Makes me think of it highly. That's not a word. Now we just follow the guidelines I made before. And if we wanted to be super duper cool with it and make it super duper realistic to the original source material, or make it more realistic to the source material, that's what I meant. If we wanted to make it more like what we got it from, that's what I meant to say. If we want to make it more like what we got it from, then we can actually make the neck of this cover the bottom part of her mouth, which would allow us to skip out on some very, 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 very tough part of the drawing, which is the mouth. So we'll instead do something like this. Actually, let's draw the eyeballs first. It's better practice to do that anyways. Maybe push them off the edge just a little with a little bit of like an eyelash or something. Kind of like the drawing is, but not too bad. I don't think Velma wears a lot of eyeliner, whatever it is. So, draw that. Draw the nose. We'll add the glasses on later as an extension, but now we have to come to a very harrowing decision. Should we make this go like this? Would that be too crazy? Who knows? We'll try it. We'll try it. And there's actually no lines on their version, so let's try to make it more like that, I guess. With a little bit of a, like that on the edges, and a couple lines to, there, extenuate that. And now we'll get rid of that. Now we can actually look at it. It looks better, but it's missing a little bit of depth that it needs. I think that's my fault, honestly. Need to add this bit right here. How it kind of swallows her. The whole sweater does. Um, get rid of it just a little. It looks, I mean, I like it. Honestly, I like that. It looks good, I think. It'll be able to highlight the tattoos, which is a major part of the draw this in your style, is the tattoos. It's a lot of what the focus is. But it's not drawing away from the character that it's also being focused on. Yeah, that's it. That's the drawing, bro. I think that's it. Maybe liquefy here just a little bit to give a little bit of more space to work on with the tattoos. And with this, we actually need to go a little bit higher. Not a lot higher, just a little bit. So just to highlight the gumball that's over there. It looks like that's gumball. Yeah, it's gumball, I think. So it's a little bit tighter right there, so we'll just extenuate that a little bit more. Probably hurts. Psh, who knows? It hurts being alive, so maybe it hurts being um, Alma. I don't know. We'll reset this, actually. Do it a different way entirely. Fix it to what it was, and we will just move everything down a little bit, which is a lot smarter than having to restructure this part, which was sort of a nice little middle piece to help us retain what we're doing here. Nice. Now I think we should do line art. Now you're probably like, what? Spent so much time on this. This is your sketch? Yeah, I'm a pathetic person who likes to sketch until everything is picture perfect. And then I like to do the drawing. It's only afterwards I get the drawing done. But it's fine. It's Velma. It's Velma, guys. It's Velma. We did it. We made Velma. Add a little bit on the side for glasses, make it look more like her. We add a little bit of a something on the nose. Nah. I like how this is looking. With the head, let's get rid of the original head that we had. Your drawing turned into what did it? You should draw something gorillas related. Yeah, I should, but I'm not. I'll draw a gorilla's tattoo on her, I guess. But gorillas isn't Cartoon Network, is it? It's MTV. MTV is somebody else, I think. Some other corporation. But we've gotten far, so maybe we should take a break with some gorillas. Got a sketch down. Let's get the hand. Gonna make me act up. We have to get the hand right with the magnifying glass. So what I'm thinking is something like this. And we could turn it actually as turn it on its side, make it more perspective like. Yeah, I get that. I love Demon Days. Um, I drew the Demon Days album, but I've only made 2 videos so far. Oh, are you drawing the videos? That sounds very cool. It's a very messy sketch for a hand, but we can work with it. That's great, man. Maybe rotate it just so that way the line follows. Like that. Yeah, that's better. I had a funny thought. What if we did it so the magnifying glass was making the tattoos? That would be so funny. It's like burning air. That would be scary. Never mind, that's not cool. Burning her would be scary, not cool. Cannot say that on international television or YouTube, whatever it is. Hello, thank you for joining. YouTube's probably gonna take me down for the music, so I might as well finish this drawing in it too. She is really pretty, I think. I don't know. I don't have my. Oh wait, I have my glasses on. Never mind. She is kind of pretty. She's my drawing, so I have to hate her. It's just how it is with all my art. Oh, I'm sorry. Um, I'm sorry, gamer. Yeah, what's your question? Plan on doing more X listeners. Can you do more 2D X listener? Yeah, I'm running out of ideas for those, but I've been trying to figure some out. Um, let's get rid of this line. Maybe we could just make it a sketch. Honestly, I plan on doing a more. I mean, I'm having issues figuring out ideas of that. I'm gonna do this to the X listener, but I have an idea. What's your idea? We're going to a fancy restaurant. Ooh, yeah, fancy, fancy, fancy schmancy restaurant. Um, define flirting. Some things that YouTube's not gonna let me on make videos about. Um, Depends on like how flirty it gets, because I can't make something. Tiny chicken nuggies. Tiny chicken nuggies. That's great. What kind of ideas did you have for it, for the ex listener that you wanted? I can work on it though. Whatever you need, just not need, but whatever you want me to do with it, you just gotta let me know. Um, because won't do anything super duper crazy with 2D in them because I don't own the characters and they probably don't want to see their name attached to something crazy like that. Thank you. Let me get rid of this line. Now before we do line art, let's get rid of some of these sketches that we have on here. Clean it up a little. Um, yeah, everybody's good at art and stuff, or whatever they're good at. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be great at everything. You just need to enjoy loving what you do. Let's get this in there just so that way we can feel accomplished. Just a little bit. Let's get a good line art brush. This one's one of my favorites. Just because of how dark it makes the lines. Although, might be better to do something with a medium soft brush. Or, better yet, go down to script. Do the script pen. No, it's too wavy. Go over to here, Studio Pen 2. Do another Studio Pen one. Phone's dying. I'm sorry. Ghost Adventures. I don't know what that is. Like ghost hunting? Because if it's ghost hunting, that's kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. I've never tried that before with them. 2D going on an adventure with Scooby Doo and the others. Yeah, I just don't know how to do their voices. That would stink. We got 7 viewers. Wow, this is great. So glad we got so many people invested. Oh, that looks perfect. Holy crap. But I was wondering how you go live. I go live through OBS Streamlabs. Um, I love OBS Streamlabs. It's really good because it remembers my information that I use. So then I just click it and I'm good to go. That's why I like it so much, I think. Yeah, yeah. That's where you go live from. I'm gonna add some extra details, I think, to this. Um, maybe eyebrows. I like it. That looks pretty good to me. Fill in that little spot with black. Or, actually, to make it easier on ourselves. Nice. It's looking pretty good. Oh, wait. Just needs a hair or two drifting off. There we go. Um, I don't know. I'm really good at digital art just because of I know how the lines work. It's predictable. It's something that you can always come back to. It's always going to be the same. Physical art, you never know what's going to happen unless you have conditions that stay the same all the time. Like using the same pen always, whatever. And it just takes practice at this point. That's how far I've gotten with it is through practice. I wouldn't be anywhere I am right now if I didn't practice. I've been drawing like constantly for the last 2 years just to get to this point where I felt happy with what I make. And I still don't feel happy. I have a never-ending seek of, um, never-ending search for um, my potential when it comes to artwork. Hold on. It's really important to stretch sometimes when you're drawing for a long time. And I got a message. Ooh, ouch. I struggle with getting a good pen to use in digital art, so I like traditional. I'm like tween BRB. Okay.
Hello. Sorry, I'm gonna move it over to the external just for a minute. My head's hurting me. Everything's hurting. Ooh. Whack. Alright. Okay. Let me get the audio back to my headphone so I can listen to the music. Oh, I need to stretch.
Hello. Yeah, there we go. And for this other one, I actually have to hook it up again. There we go. Is it working now? Oh, no, it's not. Hold on. There we go. Music's back. So, let's finish this drawing. Bye. Hope I didn't see that too late. Hi, it's JFK. Never been on streams in a long time. Yeah, hi, hello. Hello, JFK. Yeah, you too, man. I like how this is looking. I added too many lines though. Damn, almost have the torso finished. I'm a very slow line art artist, and the only reason why is because the line art's most important to me. Um, if you add too much or too little, if it doesn't look right. I mean, when I was first starting out with art, that was the one thing that always messed me up and made my art look terrible, was the line art. If I didn't get the line art completely perfect, it didn't look right. And some people say that, oh, it's never, ever, ever, ever going to be perfect. There's like a margin of error that you need to reach with it. It needs to at least look to the standard that you have set for yourself. And for me, that standard's it's not super high, but it's sort of high. And that's the only thing though I have about that. Let's work on this curve first. Yeah, and then work from here. Make another curve separate. And the reason I'm doing this is only so that way we can get the purest shapes that we can for what we are trying to illustrate. Trying to get it as clean as we can be. And that's more of a precaution that I have for my art than anything else, really. It's not like you have to do your art this way all the time. Because everybody's different with how they do things. I try to make things as clean as I can. Um, because the cleanliness of your lines is also very, very important for an artwork. You can do a messy style, but if it's messy style with lines that aren't clean, that have lots of jagged edges or are not properly like shaped or anything, then it throws your whole piece off entirely. Although it also can make your piece what it is. If you have proper line work and everything looks as you'd like it to, then you'll be set, you'll be ready to go. And I know I'm probably sounding like a broken record when I say this, but practice, especially with line work, is what is going to help you the most. Because line work doesn't come easy. It's taken me a long time to at least get a little bit of a handling on how line art works, how lines are supposed to be formed in a drawing, and I'm still working on it. I use artists like Phil Tomato to help me be able to grasp the idea of how these lines are supposed to work with each other and how they interact. And I also do a lot of my own studying with artists and with different styles in order to determine how important they are to me and how I can work with them the most. And that's really what you need to do. If that's the one thing that you needed to take away from this stream entirely, would be to work on your own line art, to work on every little aspect that you're unhappy with. And this goes for your life too, if you wanted. Every little aspect of anything that you do, if you're unhappy with it, figure out why it makes you unhappy and fix it. And don't let it keep annoying you until it completely destroys you. Like, figure it out. Because it's your life and it's your issue that you need to fix. Because you're the only one who has the power over that. Sorry if I sounded preachy doing that, but it's a very, very important thing to remember for everything you do. For me, I am not a great activist of that except for my artwork and for things I do online. Um, every other aspect of my life is pretty much hectic and crazy, but I'm working on it. I'm figuring out a way to let myself work on it at its own pace, to figure it out on its own. And that's what everybody has to do for every aspect of their lives. And we're only halfway finished with this drawing, by the way. We're not even to the point to where we can call it a finished piece. But we're getting there. That's what matters. Now, let's take off the sketch just for a second to eyeball the piece we've made so far. It's pretty clean. Some things we can tweak over here is maybe some thickness of these lines and some jarring edges, or jagged edges more like. Work on smoothing it all down, making it bolder for the rest of the piece. If it's not bold, then it's not worth drawing. If it doesn't stick out and say, hey, look, then it's not good enough. You need to work on that. Be able to make every little piece of work for you and for the piece that you're trying to make. Because line work's one of the most important things. And especially in line work, you have to make sure that it all is pieced together properly. Usually I don't do thick lines like this, but if we do these thick lines, it might help to bring out the piece entirely, especially on the spots that we did arcs. Because in the arcs, we did darker lines that had a lot more thickness, so this would make it pop out a little bit more. Now actually bring it off the page a little bit, instead of keeping it where it's at. Hello! Making sure my audio is working. Oh, dropped my phone. It is? Somebody said, I got a text saying my live is quiet. So sorry. Don't think it's quiet. But whatever. Um, how is everybody's day? Everybody's watching right now. In the comments, let me know how your day was. Let me know what'd you eat for lunch. Did you do anything great that scared you today? Did you, watch any movies? Are you watching a movie? Is, a certain show your favorite at this moment in time? Answer any of those. Dude, go off, man. Let's talk to each other and have a good time on this wonderful, wonderful day we have. I really hope that you guys are having a good time watching me do this. I don't know. It seems kind of stupid that I'm just sitting here drawing something and everybody else is watching. But it's whatever. I think that it's cool. And I think that you guys think it's cool, or else you probably wouldn't be here watching the stream, I think. And actually, let's pull out. I love Procreate for this reason. Um, it's rotated for some reason. Hold on. Rotate. There we go. So now we have a full bird's eye view of it. You know I do love spaghetti, man. Spaghetti's great. Now we have a full bird's eye view of what we need. We don't even need this until maybe a minute later. Afterwards, we need to figure out a way to set up a design. All the characters we're gonna put on here. Spaghetti is really good. I actually I have some pizza over here. I was gonna eat. It's Italian, and so I thought that would work as conversation for later or whatever. Um, but um, yeah, I love spaghetti. Spaghetti's great. Um, especially if you mix in like some spices and stuff with their meat, and you do meatballs and stuff. Ooh yeah, meatballs are great. Now that I'm looking at it, this piece is very, very nice. I don't think I've done a nice piece like this in a while, where I focus purely on line art as well as and I'm also going to be focusing on color as well, working to make something sort of like the original source content that Phil Tomato made. Um, although Scooby Shooby, Scooby Shooby, Scooby Shooby sounds like something a Sim would say in like Sims 4 or something dumb. Scooby Shooby, and say something dumb back and reply, be like, hey, blah 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 blah, dum 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 dum, words, something Simoleon or whatever. I don't know what they call their language. Don't ask me, man. Dude, I really liked what was it, Scooby Doo when I was growing up as well. Scooby Doo was great because it was like anthology almost. Each episode had its own little story, its own plot. They could just drag and drop the characters in there, and that was the best part. Um, it seemed that each episode, if you watched one, you wouldn't have to watch another, or you wouldn't have to watch any before it. And that's what TV shows and cartoons I feel like have lost. Um, Sometimes, I mean, regular show did that pretty good. SpongeBob does that pretty good, I guess. But it's building a compelling story. Um, that's what's tough. Scooby Doo didn't build up a compelling story. It was a, you know, mysteries or whatever. But could you do Tootie's voice? I'm not the voice actor, but I'm not the voice actor for him for Gorillas, but uh, Adelaide, 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 Adelaide. Hey yo, the pizza's ready. Adelaide. Okay. Hi Adelaide. Thank you for joining the stream. Hope you have a great time here. Man, now the artwork's almost done. Just do some smoother edges around here. Make it clean. Clean cut. But we are almost done with this piece. Let's add a little bit more thickness right here, just to kind of sell the rest of it. Um, Hold on a second. Oh man. Hey, yo, the pizza's ready. Yeah. On the phone. I'm on the phone. Ring, ring. Yeah. Murdoch, whatever his name is. I didn't know that Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance. That's so insightful. Oh wait, we probably need it right there. It's a magnifying glass, isn't it? Yeah. Car needs the bling bling. Bling bling. Man, cars and their bling bling, man. It's crazy. Okay. There we go. Merge down. Bam! That's like perfect. Now all it needs to be done is colored. All of it. Oh yeah, and we have to put that like thing I did. Oh crap. Just thought. Ah, whatever. We'll just do arcs. We'll make it arcs. And that'll be our way that we can do this easier. Do it with arcs. Done. Now we get rid of the reference window. Find the best way that we can get it all color matched. Let's hope that I closed all the lines properly. I can do a recolor later. No! Right there. At least I saw it though. One time I went the whole time without seeing it. It bothered me. I like that. I like line art. That's something I stink at. Yeah, I stink at that too. I'm just forcing myself to try to figure it all out and learn it better. For the glasses, we're gonna have to do something different probably. Maybe fill all of it with the same color. Do the same kind of thing that Phil Tomato did. Or we can do a different thing later. We'll wait. And now we get the orange. Done. This is the cleanest artwork I think I've done in a long time. Some of the cleanest. I've never been able to actually drag and drop using this. I've always had to do a different color form when it comes to Procreate. So just the fact that I've done that is good. Like really good. Like that's something that I usually am terrible at is the line art. grab the same white that's on the outside here, use that for this. Oh yeah, that's great. Use some sort of metallic brown. Yeah, for that. Use a different layer for that. The white and orange I kind of put on the same layer, but that's in whatever. We'll just pretend like I didn't do that. Let's make that a brighter. I don't think she's buying magnifying glasses that are like old looking. So, get no proper way to say it. There we go. Proper color scheme. It's very nice. Now for the eyes, this is something that I'm usually terrible at for this. Um, but we're just going to use white to kind of reflect. Um, it might be cool if we did this. Maybe did followed after Phil's footsteps that he did with this, and only do a little bit of the line art in this. Just enough that you know that the eye has the eyelids, but enough to diffract, or not to diffract, enough to basically detract all that and make it like a glasses look. Now we have our base colors in. We're actually gonna get the belly button this time though. Gotta make sure. Done. Base colors are done. Next up is I'm gonna prematurely do this just because I want to. Let's use a different brush. I like other brushes for this. Nah, not that one. Not that one either. Something like that. Yeah. Maybe we can use. Nah. Yeah. It's perfect. Maybe we could even move it over here just to kind of throw off a little from Phil's original design he did. Now, I was actually a part of a stream that he was doing recently where he used basically told how he did the um, he told people how he did his sort of shading like this. I need to figure out a brush that mimics kind of his line art, but his shading is done with sort of a textured color, if that makes sense. And now for this, we're going to use multiply. Grab this, kind of like that, except let's improve it a little. Make our grain, scale it up a little. we need to figure out how to get it the grain that we want. So maybe do a moving grain, texturized grain, probably like that, sorta. Pick something with more um, of a mess like this. Yeah, and instead of it being texturized, we'll make it moving so that we can actually like work with it maybe. Or maybe, pick a different grain. We need something rough, like really rough. Canvas will work. And now for shape, let's change our shape source to something else. Maybe even, like, look at that. That's pretty good to me. We need to pick a different color though. So something a little bit darker or lighter to do something different with it. So what I am actually going to do is maybe do add instead. Use our blending styles that we have, um, and kind of do a little bit of a fall off on that. Um, Maybe lower the opacity a little. Work on blending it in there, kind of. Creating this sort of um, textured look. Looks a little garbage right now, but we'll figure it out. Add that little bit of a textured look over here as well. And not exclusively over here. Square shape's making it a little harder for me because I'm not used to it. Um, Maybe erase these. These are not towards the center, which is not where the light is coming from in this piece. It's coming from the side. So what we want to do is make sure that we are able to highlight the light from over there best that we can. It's going to be kind of tough. But it's okay. Now that we have a proper look of that we want with these, we can go over and actually make our multiply again. And instead of doing just one layer of multiply, what I usually like to do is go a couple. And as I do this, I like to shift it more towards the blue side of the spectrum of colors. So grab this, grab it again, shift a little bit more blue. Now we have a blue kind of color going with this. So now we can use this to highlight our dark spots, the shading, and whatever we want. For me, I'm going to use it to mark where the shade is all coming from in this piece. We can always blend it later, add maybe a grain on top to these layers if we figure out that's what we want to do. But if we're going for this sort of style, we need to make it as messy but clean as we can. Um, and I'm not saying Phil's style is messy. Phil's style is a whole different level than mine. It incorporates more things than mine would in a single stroke. And that's why I like to try to copy Phil's techniques and learn from how he does it. And when we blend, we actually could use this same brush afterwards, but first we have to get all of our value down. In our So the 9. Um, we want to make sure that we get every bit of what we're trying to get put down value-wise on the canvas. Doesn't matter if it looks bad or not, we need to make sure that it's there. In my case, it looks bad, but it's okay. We're still figuring it all out for this piece. So we'll grab a little bit of like a light pencil kind of shading brush right there. Use that to highlight what we're actually looking for, which is all in this direction. Um, and this looks pretty great already. Won't have to do much blending, if any at all, especially for this sort of style that we are trying to not replicate but mimic, if it's draw this in our style. I've already deviated a lot from what it originally was, but we have to make sure that we maintain some elements to make it look, decent. So use our brush we have here, blend a little on the spots that need some blending. And hopefully it'll help us maintain sort of a jagged kind of look with our brush and with our piece. Those inner kind of lines what we're looking for, or what we're looking for when it comes to how this looks, with texture and everything. If that doesn't work, we'll just add texture afterwards. It's not that difficult. We'll just have to figure out a way to overlay all of our shading with that, which would be a feat. But we're okay right now. Just working on blending some of the softer bits till it looks halfway decent and somewhat different than Phil's. Now we take our color that we were using for our adding, which is our really, really bright orange kind of color. And instead of mocking his, let's do our own lighting with this. So let's make a lighting point. I know this is probably dumb to do, but there's our lighting point. Pretend like all the light's coming this way, in this triangle. It will help us to sort of see how all of it is supposed to come together with our light, our shading. With me, I'm a big believer in adding a lot of light. Light is something every piece needs, but it needs hard light, not the soft kind of light that blends. You need something that will basically show the person who is looking at your art that it's dynamic, that there's more going on to it than it looks like. And that goes especially for light, because light is something that you don't want to mess up. So we can add this kind of glaze of light over some edges, not on our shading, because that's where we'll be blending our shade and our light together. We'll add a little bit of back shading or backlighting, because this happens in art a lot, is because light's reflective, or not light's reflective, lots of things are reflective, it bounces from many different things. So we can actually have a little bit of an underlight from everything else around us, whenever we have drawings like this. Although in this case, the light coming from this direction, we would have a little bit coming right there. Maybe a little right in this area. And the best part about putting our multiply layer with this is that we actually have the ability to blend and maintain a little bit of a multiply as well, which is really great. very nice. So next, put ourselves a little bit of a light right here. Maybe a little bit of a light right in this corner right here. This one we can actually blend a little bit because it's softer light. The light that bounces back is a lot softer than the light that you can see bouncing off of people's clothes directly. It's a light that you don't really have to worry about looking for when it comes to um, it's um, it's very important to be able to identify what's shading and blending properly and what's not. This sort of blending that I'm doing right now, where I'm dragging the colors and sort of maintaining an edge along the lights that we have already made, that's a proper sort of shading. Airbrush shading is something that a lot of early artists do in lieu of not knowing. That's mostly what it is not knowing how to do shading that is more complicated. Um, which is fine. Shading complicated is something I hate doing sometimes. Sometimes it bothers me to no end. Oh, there we go. Hello? Hey, sorry. I'm working on references. All right. Um, Here we go. We're finally ready to finish this. I used some of my favorites instead of doing the ones that Phil did, just because I love a couple of these characters. Some of them I don't. And I'm not playing favorites, but yeah, I'm playing favorites. Sorry. So I need to figure out where my where'd it go? I think it was in here. Yeah, there it is. Um, what were your guys' favorite Cartoon Network shows? Mine was probably the what was it? Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends or whatever it was. That one was one of my favorites. Um, I liked it because of Blue. Blue was my favorite character. Um, it was just very fun. Um, I didn't like the kid too much. Um, I kind of liked. I don't know. I enjoyed the show a lot. I think my favorite of all time has to be. Um, oh man, Adventure Time was really good. I really liked Adventure Time. It ushered in like a whole era of me wanting to do animation. Steven Universe always is gonna have a spot in my heart. Just because that one, when that one ended, I realized what I wanted to do with my life and where I wanted to go. I saw how much fun that the people who made it had. I saw how much thought they put into every little piece of it, and it made me excited. It made me want to make something of my own one day. For either big name animation studio or something small, I still wanted to make something. And I wanted it to be something that people could enjoy and something public that, everybody would be able to enjoy. Not just something like my art that I make. Which I guess my art could work, but it's not the same as working for like Cartoon Network or working for Blue Skies. I used to want to be part of Blue Sky Animation Studio, but I think they got what was it? Somebody shut them down or something. They were allocating money more towards quick releases instead of animated content, which is going to, honestly, it's going to mess everybody up in the whole industry who wants to go into it. But the reason that they design these characters like this is purely for the simple reason that they can't make characters as elaborate as the one I've drawn this tattoo on, and they can't animate that frame for frame. Through 3D animation, through everything like that, through anime set this weird precedent for animators because of the style and the speed that they have when creating versus manga artists. You look at manga artists, it takes them tons and tons more time to publish something and actually get it written well and done everything with. Um, they're a much more better shower, or not shower, they're a much better example of what the industry should be looking for, which is quality over speed. But since we live in a world where people want things done immediately almost, then we're having to suffer with it. And shows have to somehow be able to reach that bar of being able to be speedy, but also being able to envision what the creators wanted. Um, and it's very crazy. It's something that I hate. I hate that people who make animations, people who direct, they don't see what the actual animators are going through when it comes to creating the content. They don't see how many hours are put into um, making sure that every line looks perfect, and making sure that every little piece of everything is just how they want them to look. And it's frustrating because it so many good talented people are struggling through this, and it's just a tough situation, especially with COVID too. People have to work from home. They're not able to work into the studios actually. It's a surprise that any of these cartoon studios have stayed in business this long. Blue Sky, I'm surprised about Blue Sky just because of that. Makes me really sad because I would have loved to work on a movie from them. Some of their movies inspired me a lot. I've seen them since I was little, like robots, like Ice Age, like any of those. Ice Age 1 primarily because of the time that it was made and all that business. It was amazing. And yet now they're falling to the world and speedy time for getting things done and making sure that um, the person who's actually making the directing the content is getting what they want instead of people who are creating the content and the people who are directing it. And that's what sucks the most, I think. But sorry, I didn't mean to get on a rant about that. Um, what's your favorite cartoons? All of you in the comments. I need to look at that. Actually, I asked that before. Monkey, 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 monkey. Yeah, monkey. I agree. Monkey, monkey, monkey. Powerpuff Girls. Powerpuff Girls, Ed and Eddie, Codename, Kids Next Door, Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken, Dexter's Lab, Samurai Jack, Rose Cowardly Dog, Foster's Home, Chowder, yeah. Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, and Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. I love Flapjack. Flapjack, Foster's Home, um, Dexter's Lab, and the original Powerpuff Girls. Those were the ones I watched about that time. I've gone back and I've watched Codename Kids Next Door, Ed, Ed and Eddie a little bit. I saw a little bit of Ed, Ed and Eddie. I watched Samurai Jack, Courage. Courage, I don't know, he seemed really scared all the time, which is weird. Um, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I need to find somewhere that I can watch that because I remember Billy. Billy was funny. He was just dumb. I don't feel like he was. I don't remember if he was or not. From what I remember, he was like a dumb. Like the dumbest character on the show, I think. The age of golden cartoons is over. Except for maybe Gumball. Gumball's good. It has some. Yeah. SpongeBob's not good though anymore. SpongeBob kind of went down the drain because humor is kind of lost, and the writers are kind of going crazy. Steven Hillenburg died, and now they're making a reboot with 3D animations, which is whack. The 2D animations what keeps people wanting to watch SpongeBob, and they just kind of ripped all that up. Like that's the only thing that makes it appealing still. After years, after me watching it, Glapjack, Glapjack, Glapjack's cool. Glapjack's really cool, I guess. He's a cool guy, cool homie. Craig of the Creek. I haven't watched that. Yeah, it's just Teen Titans and Gumball. Gumball is better than Teen Titans, I think. Although Teen Titans did have a really cool part where they actually credited their animators. That made me so happy when they actually did that. Like a part where they actually credited them in their movie. I think that's what it was. The movie they credited the animators of the movie by actually having one of the leading art directors voice his own character. And then I think a director basically let his kids be on there or something. It was something crazy. There's a lot of stuff that went on. They also acknowledged like everybody by their nickname in there. It was cool. I liked that a lot, but that was cool. Um, that was like the only good part about Teen Titans Go that I've liked is that part. Um, Teen Titans the original was amazing, and honestly, nobody liked it. Back where I was living, nobody liked it. Um, I used to live at least. Now everybody's trying to get in on the trend of, oh, I liked this show. I was so quirky. Wow, wow, wow. Doesn't matter. Listen, if you actually liked that show, then you would have you would have been terminally diagnosed with you would have been diagnosed with depression like right off the bat, man. Like a lot of these shows were like weird. Like you would have been described as manic if these shows came out in the 90s because people can't just jump on the bandwagon of it. I mean, it's cool if you want to watch it as a person, who hasn't watched it, but don't. It's kind of like gatekeeping. I guess I'm gatekeeping. Um, but I don't know. Don't claim that you've seen something if you haven't. It's that easy. Like, I didn't claim that I saw all the characters that are here. I just looked them up because I needed somebody to put on this freaking tattoo so I could get it done. Because right now, oh, freaking Dexter. You're gonna kill me, Dexter. Dexter. It's 28. Alright, we'll do my laboratory. Freaking love his Dexter's Lab. That was like one of the best. I used to watch Boomerang all the time because Boomerang was like played some of the best stuff. Flintstones, I even watched Flintstones, man. Flintstones was great. Um, Dexter's Lab was awesome. I think my favorite of Boomerang was probably it was Flintstones, yeah. Or no, Scooby Doo. Scooby Doo was on Boomerang. I forgot. Um, Scooby Doo was great. And then they rebooted it so many other times, but the original was just that was good. It was absolute like fire, man. You get the ice detector. The ice detector up to it. That's the first Scooby Doo would give you the ice. You'd be like, oh yeah. Yeah, it is. Everybody's here, man. And I've done them pretty well, if I do say so myself. Now we merge them to the layer. Oh crap, no! Undo. Gotta get rid of his hat. Make sure there's no other intersecting lines. Oh wait. His laboratory. There we go. I'm in his laboratory. Okay. That works. Now we merge, press reference, and now on the gray. Do I have a section where I just put gray colors? No, I don't. Alright, this will be the gray color area or whatever it is. All of these are going to have like a gray kind of texture to them, a little bit lighter. A little bit of a gray color for each one of the characters here. For certain ones, I'm going to have to use certain things. Like for this guy, he's going to be a little bit lighter, probably. Jake doesn't need to be lighter. He's cool. He looks good how he is, my man. My man. He's a good color how he is. We'll get the classic just for the white. And we'll white everybody's eyes first. That's a good one to start with. White everybody's eyes. Just that way we have somewhere to start with. If it turns out that it doesn't look good with everybody's eyes whitened and their teethies, we'll do it differently, but Forgot his nose holes. We'll do the nose holes later. We're chilling right now. We're not stressing. No stress. Could do Chowder's eyeballs. This is kind of Chowder. I don't know. I thought it was Chowder, but now I'm not so sure. Yeah. Um, yeah. And we'll get his teeth in there. He needs some white on him, just that way you can tell that he is a part of it. Um, don't know what a vowel is. Vowel is like A, E, I, O, U, that kind of stuff. Man, the public school system, bro, is failing everybody nowadays. Let's do like a light gray. Something that's not entirely like pitch black, if that makes sense. And we'll use this with like a Ku's mouth. Cool. The shape-shifting master of darkness. Nah, we have to put that on the other original. We can't. Although you can kind of see it on a Ku if you don't do black. It kind of just looks bad. Yeah, there we go. For you, we're gonna let you have the dark gray. Now we're gonna hit them up with this gray on that. For Captain Knuckles. Captain Knuckles. Captain. Captain. Captain Knuckles. Captain Knuckles. Now we can use the same kind of coloring method for everybody if we want. Make it easier on ourselves. I can't do Flapjack. I was making a joke about how I can't do Flapjack's voice. Now for this guy, we actually have to hit him with that Gluck Gluck 9000. Actually fill it in manually, like we're a little kid with a coloring book. I have to go to the dentist tomorrow. That's gonna stink. It's the dentist. It's not gonna be that bad. Dentist is cool. They give you like, especially if you go to like one of the cool dentists, they have like a lollipop for you afterwards. You get to eat the lollipop while they like talk to you about stuff, like what's your social security number and where do you live, all that business. You know, they give you like freaking candy for it and all that. Yeah, it's freaking epic. His little voice is so hard to do, but it's so adorable, man. It's almost perfect. It's a little sparse. It's a little not as much as the original was, but I'm not a big believer in filling in lots of this stuff space. We'll use the lighter color just to keep with how this one looks. Ooh. Got the line art accidentally. we'll do this dark for Jojo's hat. Although his hat's white, isn't it? We'll do white then. Remember, there's no streets is one in 7 states. Monkey, 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 monkey. So much monkey. Alright, let's pick something dark gray to like put behind. Maybe just to have some color behind it. Oh, I don't know anybody who does tattoos like that. It's just a waste. Though I kind of like this. Oh yeah, I've been planning this. I've been planning this drawing for the longest time, but now it's finally come true. Oh yeah, whoops. Hold on. Bloop. There we go. Now we know it fits on the page. Get rid of that one. Now for the multiply of the arms and legs and stuff, we're going to set our multiply on top. And from there, we're going to be able to, if we set our multiply on top, it'll actually shade everything with it, which is what we want. My eyes are like not working properly. Hold on. I think, oh crap, wrong side. I think that it's turned, no, turned off night shift. We're good. Actually, let's hit it off. And we'll probably have to change it later. We'll be able to tell, I think, when it goes. But, get ourselves the dark color that we're looking for. Shift it to the yellow to make it, not yellow, we need red, make it more dark. Not dark, I mean, you shift it to red to make it more, what's the color? Blue. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Well, proximity principle, the purple would be closer, and that's the whole reason we're doing that with our artwork. And plus, purple just looks better anyways. If you do like a purple shade, kind of. See, it shades a lot nicer. Although we can get a darker color, it's still not dark enough for how it needs to be. We need something darker than that. Not orange though, we need it more red if anything. Yeah, that's better. Use this, then we can basically just make really dark strokes along here, and we won't have to make as many because we can blend them through, if that makes any sense. So the light, especially in this picture, you can see it, the light's coming from that direction. So in this, let's lower our opacity down again. We basically do this, and do this, make ourselves a little gradient, like this. Then we do this, hold this one color, and then work on placing that, like that. Now we can work on this, which is just mostly side stuff like this. Not side stuff, I mean, it's really easy lines that you don't need to really worry about when it comes to replicating it. Stuff that's a little bit easier to replicate, I mean. So like that, bam, we have like a nice way that we've done this. Now we can actually shift a little bit of that color over if we wanted, just to highlight that it's a little bit of a raised, like, rib, if that makes sense. Um, let's drag a little bit of the color around. Make sure that we get it on this spot right here. Doesn't matter if we get it over in that direction. We're mostly working on trying to get it in the middle where we need it. It's mostly a race to figure that out. Now, blend it through. Add a little bit of some dark right there. Cat scared me. Add a little bit of a texture right there for the colors that we're shading with. And add a little bit of this right here just for the sake of texturing. Lower opacity and follow the stroke. Make it a soft edge. Not as hard as we would need it to be. Maybe even a little bit like that. And we can even, if we wanted to go this far, we could actually create sort of an extra sort of create this barrier right here where we can then blend this color over a little bit more. There, like that. Um, Come here. Oh, it's not working. Work this way with it. Blend along there. Create a little bit of a underneath bit. Something like that. If we got rid of the tattoos, that's what it would look like. Well, not the line art for the tattoos, of course. Can't get rid of that. The whites are kind of muted, but we can change that by adjusting our opacity just a bit. Now we do the hand and the arm. I wanted to maintain some sort of texture when it came to how these strokes were presented, but I don't know, my style is not well enough for it to look like that. I'm really just focusing on lines at this point and value and making sure that edges are made sort of like this. Now for this, we lower it as small as we can, which seems to be that big apparently. We try our best to work on creating this sort of texture here. Then we can smooth it out just a smidge. Not to lose our texture, but to make sure that we have a nice blend of colors. And another one we could do is over there as well as in maybe the fold of the hand as well, like this. Wham. It's looking pretty great, if I do say so myself. And I do, because I've never felt my art was great before. It's looking pretty good, especially for the style that we are going for. And this is without even doing the hair, man. Like, oh my gosh, we haven't even touched the head with this. Just absolutely crazy to think about. It looks like she's got a severe sunburn, so we'll just kind of work this out like this. Mostly working on a shade. That's all we want. Some sort of shade. Yeah, like that. Rockin'. I don't even know what's going on in my live chat section, but I'm just here for the ride. Now we can go over with this in a little bit. Actually, work on getting some more different values maybe. But for right now, my plan is to go back to the body with the multiply that I put there, which did I put the arm accidentally on a different layer? Yeah, I did. Psh, that's whatever, man, honestly. Um, psh, whatever. Put it on a different layer. Just forget that I even did that, honestly. Um, work on making rough edges. Something to add some texture. Honestly, at this point, that's all we're looking for is texture. Um, some sort of way to show the edges. Doesn't have to be huge, just has to be subtle in there, kind of. So, something like that. On this side, we'll do a little bit of that as well. Maybe smooth out this side as well, just because it wasn't smooth. While we're here, we'll smooth it out. Now I think we are almost done. Um, thanks. I gave her a little bit of a hip dip, but I didn't make it as large as it was. Or it should have been. I should have made it bigger, make it more realistic. Um, I also made the ribs come a little bit too farther down, and that's something I just now noticed. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We did it. Alright. It's probably gonna end the stream tonight, guys. I've been streaming for 3 hours and 13 minutes. You've seen the whole process now, except for the original sketch I did. I hope that you all have a great night. It's been really awesome doing art with you. I hope you all sleep well. Or wake up well, live your life well, whatever time it is for you. I hope that you have a good one, and I hope that it goes great. It said 9:41 on my phone. It's 9:18 though, or not 9:41. 9:41 right here, but it's all messed up actually. It's got this. It says it's Tuesday, January 9th as well. I'm taking a screenshot of that. Gonna post this on Instagram and then we are done. All right. Next time we come back. What did you do to your phone? What did I do to my phone? All right. My phone's fine. Hope you all have a great. I didn't break it. Don't think I did. Yeah, I didn't break my phone.